Hey everybody, how's it going?
We got it working.
Sorry for the delay in the stream, but it wouldn't be a first stream without a little bit of technical difficulty. My name is Matt Schotch. I'm your lead community developer here at Gun, and I'm going to let my buddies introduce themselves, starting with the man with the mustache.
My name is Wes Keltner, president of Gun, co-designed on Friday the 13th, the game. And yeah, I don't really do a whole much around here. These are the guys that do most of the work, so I just basically sat in my office, comb my mustache, yell at Ben, that kind of stuff is pretty much what I do. But Dan, please introduce yourself.
I mean, he says the man with the mustache, but I
think I
have facial hair, man.
It's true.
He doesn't care about me. Hey, I'm Daniel. I'm the director of communications here at Gun, and really Matt's the one that does all the work. He's been.
So everyone just passing the buck. It's like
he's been doing a lot of work.
Don't blame me, is what I'm hearing.
Like the last 2 weeks, Matt's been killing it getting this
whole thing put
together for everybody.
Yeah.
Wes as well. Me, I did emails.
Yeah. It's been a fun week of getting things prepared. First, I'd like to send a little love to our friend Shaddy over at One Pixel Brush, who created this amazing artwork behind us. He spent, it's crazy because he threw this together in like 3, maybe 4 days tops. And a lot of the inspiration from this came from like 70s horror comics. I loved reading them when I was younger, and of course it was more like 80s whenever I was reading some of those comics. But the stuff in the 70s had sort of a artistic style to it that I wanted to try to bring to what we were doing. I thought it made a really rad backdrop, and so big shout out to One Pixel Brush and Shaddy, who runs One Pixel Brush. He did all the concept art for Friday the 13th as well, so we used One Pixel Brush a lot for art needs, and he really helped us out in a pinch here to get this thing done so that we could get it up on the wall so we can have a cool backdrop. So I hope you guys there in chat can see it, and I think what we're going to try to do is maybe in the future put this backdrop out maybe as some like wallpaper or something that we might be able to provide later to the fans and whatnot. But yeah, this is going to be our show is called Beyond, and we're going to be covering patch notes and updates to projects that we're working on. These streams feel a little bit more somewhat structured in that we're going to be going over notes that are happening with patches and changes to games that we are working on. So it's not always about Friday. Of course we've partnered with Bluebird Team on Layers of Fear 2, and so there'll be episodes of Beyond where we're talking about what's going on with that and keeping you guys in the loop on that front as well.
Yeah, if I could just jump in right here.
Sure.
The idea with these types of streams is that we want to make sure that you guys have a weekly checkpoint with us. You have a moment where we can all sit down, hang out. We'll talk about the things we're working on. We'll talk about anything Gun has a hand in, anything Gun is participating in. And honestly, if we don't have a lot to talk about, we're just going to sit here and take your questions and make sure we get as many of them answered as possible, because this interface is important to us on the community side here at Gun. It's super important for us to provide you guys with an outlet to talk to us and to get some answers straight from us. And there's nothing quite like that face-to-face interaction.
Right,
You get to hang out with the president of the company, the director of communications, little old me. And, we want to provide some type of outlet for you guys to interact with us directly. And Twitch, Mixer, this is the way to do it. So
Right. Cool.
Beyond is always going to serve that. But I think you have a little something you wanted
I
to
thought
do.
it would be cool that if we maybe started off here with talking about maybe some quick little giveaways or something.
Oh, yeah.
Something that get a little hype in the chat and get people excited about some goodies that we're going to be giving away. And I think the first thing we may give away is maybe an art book.
Yeah, for sure.
So during the whole project of Friday the 13th, we of course go through iterations on artwork from maybe assets that you find like Higgins Haven, like the building itself, down to the characters and each Jason, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a pretty meticulous process to bring these things to life and bring them into the game. And so we're making sure that we were capturing all those things and capturing each iteration like a screenshot so that we could put this art book together. Now, this was part of our Kickstarter that we had some of our fans be able to jump in and take advantage of that, one of those tiered packages to do that. And whenever we had the art books made, there was some that we had left over, and we thought, well, let's give these away to some of our fans that maybe weren't even aware of the Kickstarter or whatever else. So that's why we put this together. I don't know if you've seen them before, but of course it's Friday the 13th the game, and then it's got some really rad shots. I just randomly opened up to J9, where you can see like the iterations of when we were making him, and what went through it to full 360. Like, sorry, the camera glare there. Full 360 spin on that model itself. So, and it gives you some, like over here on this side, some little notes from these are things that myself and Ronnie and lead animators and things like that and character artists had just kind of wrote. So it's cool. There's probably people in chat that do have already a copy of this because they backed us on Kickstarter, but they can probably contest to that it's pretty rad. So what's the command here to get this thing going?
We because we're wasting zero time. We already have a winner on Mixer. And Bradshaw72, congratulations for winning the raffle on Mixer. And let's see. Oh, we drew one, but it's flying by. We've got Gun Media Help on Mixer and Gun Media Support on Twitch. They're going to be taking care of making sure they reach out to you guys to get your information to ship you out your art books. I didn't want to interrupt the man himself because that was a great description of the book. And we know that a lot of you guys are interested in these art books. So stick around. We have another giveaway. We've got a giveaway.
Yeah.
We've got a hell of a giveaway at the end of the show. So you're going to want to hang out. There's another shot at it. Like I said, Gun Media Help and Gun Media Support, depending on if you're Twitch or Mixer, is going to be reaching out to get your information. And yeah.
Sweet. Well, I think there's some other things to talk about here, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a patch coming out. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I have some notes hidden under there, but I'm just trying to keep up with our chat here. So
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna keep doing
Sure.
my thing.
So I think, we need to maybe jump into talking a little bit about what's going to be happening in this patch. But I think the best way to do that is maybe show a quick video, right, of some of these changes. Now, this is going to go a little bit fast, like this video itself. You may not kind of see all the goodies that are there within. So we're going to break it down after the video. But just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse into what you can expect in this patch. Again, we'll break it down. We'll talk about some things afterwards, and then even maybe show some of this stuff through a live demo. Rob Fox is our producer behind the scenes. He's the one that's running, throwing between cameras and getting everything queued up for us. And so he will be taking it away now to throw to this video, and we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm sure everyone It's like, wait, what did I just see? Right? Like everyone in chat's probably like, I'm confused. What was that? So Dan and I will break this down. I think the best way, let's throw up maybe a screenshot of some of these changes, so that way we have like a static image to sort of discuss each one of these pieces. It'll make a lot more sense, I hope, because again, when you're trying to watch moving video, sometimes it's difficult to catch all the subtleties and the nuances.
Before we jump into that, we have a couple of questions in chat about, oh, that's it, that's all. This is just the balancing changes that we showed you there. We've got plenty more to talk about, and we've got plenty more to talk about that goes into the balancing changes and how we landed on this.
Right.
But for now, let's give it its due diligence, and we're going to unpack what we just showed you guys in the video real quick, get through that, and we'll go through a lot more. But stick around. That's the balancing arc. We've got a lot to talk about, though.
Right.
So sorry about that.
No, it's good. Okay, Dan, do you want to cover what we're seeing here in this image?
I have the blocked view. So this is this is Jason after he is fully enraged, taking a flare to the eye, because a fully enraged Jason now, flares don't do anything to him. He just walks it off. He walks off all melee weapons, and basically the only thing that's gonna slow Jason down is, Pamela's sweater, bear traps.
Yes.
And
The shotgun. The shotgun definitely will still take him down.
So basically, if you have those special weapons, you're gonna, well, shotguns aren't really all that. You can find them around the map, but they're a little more out of the norm. The baseball bats, all that stuff, that's not gonna do it. Once he gets up to rage, he's actually a viable threat. Slowing him down is pretty difficult. You have a super limited amount of things, and something that's I found really interesting about this change is, even if you have a shotgun, you get that one shot on him. You're not going to stun him. You're not going to put Jason into one of those moments where his hands are tied and can't do nothing. So.
Right.
Yeah, most of the things that we looked at for this patch were, adjusting the one versus group, like Jason versus a group instead of Jason versus a single counselor. So, if you're playing that one-on-one and you hit Jason and you run away and you're trying to survive as a counselor, your whole group is going to do better than if everybody decides, let's go play Pinata Jason, because you're going to get Jason raging very quickly, and you're going to find out that most of your weapons are basically worthless now.
Right. It definitely adds far more value to what rage should be doing, in the game, in that we did see, footage, and I've actually had, PlayStations myself where I would jump in, with randoms and just kind of see what's going on. And there were those instances where players were, teaming up on Jason. Maybe it's, 2, 3, 4 players are doing this, and it's frustrating for the Jason player, right? And yeah, there is a meta that starts to come out of that where, good Jason players are able to almost see the telegraphed swing that's getting ready to occur, and they get good at sort of juking the player and getting the player to commit to swinging a weapon and then stepping in and doing. So, and that was interesting to see that sort of developed from it, but it was breaking away from the vision of what we wanted to create with this game, in that, Jason needs to be a real viable threat. But while the counselors still have a chance. And so it may be the early game that Jason does take, a couple of hits, but the more that you're doing that to Jason, you're getting him to rage faster, right? And now once he hits it, like, he needs to truly feel like he's an unstoppable force. And it feels pretty good now to get him at that state, and then once he's enraged, to see, bats breaking over him and he's not stopping. He's continuing to move forward, which is very much Jason, right?
When you bully him, he's going to get mad. Only now, when he gets mad, he's going to get even also.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot more. The whole thing with circling up on Jason, hitting him with bats, getting, there's a couple people in chat when you guys were talking there. You said something about, they're getting in there and they really kind of mess him up. There's a couple people saying troll him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And the changes here, as much as we're trying to make sure that we give Jason some of his teeth back, You know, it's something that I kind of like saying, give him some of his teeth back. We also want to make sure that we're not swinging that pendulum too far.
Yep.
So, I mean, one of the things I'm really interested in, I mean, well, I think the community will be really interested in hearing is from you both on how we're mitigating the you know, the tendency to go, well, okay, now Jason is just trampling counselors again,
Right.
and how we're navigating that situation.
Sure. I mean, it is. There's a lot of knobs and switches, so to speak,
Yeah.
that we are constantly, tweaking to see how are these changes impacting gameplay, and it's a delicate procedure because you go too far one way and you're breaking what makes asymmetrical horror what it is, which is there is supposed to be an entity that's more powerful, right? In our asymmetrical game, and if you make him so powerful, then the opposing force can't get away, right? And that's frustrating to them. It's not fun to just watch Jason destroy everyone in 5 or 6 minutes. It's like, well, shit,
Yeah.
And there is that whole ethos of quote get good, but at a certain point, it doesn't matter. Like he's just too OP to get away from. And then on the other side of that pendulum, if Jason is super weak and the counselors feel strong and they have a lot of variables and opportunities to both fight back and escape, then that becomes frustrating for Jason. So it is a delicate balance, and so that's why we spend a very long time before we getting this patch out to like continuously play this internally and make sure that we're not going too far in one direction. But we heard the frustration, we saw the frustration that was occurring, especially when it isn't necessarily troll behavior if Jason corners a couple people in a cabin and they wail on him to get away. That ain't troll behavior.
Right.
But when the match begins and everyone finds a weapon and then they start hunting Jason, that's not the spirit of what we're trying to make here.
You're
right?
going after the machete-wielding maniac with a baseball bat, knowing you're gonna
You're right.
That changes the whole tune of what Friday the 13th really is.
Correct. Correct. So that was why those changes were made to Rage, was to make a real climax occur during the game, to have a real somewhat shift in what each match feels like. And it's because of the decisions that are being made by the players that you decided, to continue hitting him or whatever, right? That it's going to break up these sort of, kill squads or whatever you want to call them, where people are trying to hunt down Jason and make that the experience for the Jason player not fun.
I'm a big fan of Rage actually being Rage now. Like, players can spend 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning of the match, and I mean, they can still do it in this update, and they can, circle up and beat the shit out of Jason. But, once that rage hits,
There's repercussions to the actions now.
yeah, there are bad things that are going to happen for counselors.
Well, and chat's on board. So far, we're seeing a lot of people saying things like, rage actually is rage now, not just walking through a few doors. So
Hell yeah.
that's
Yes.
Yep.
that's the goal. But again, not to the point of, well, now forget it, match might as well be over. We want to make sure that there's still a fight in you, and there's still ways around that.
I mean, it's not closing off your opportunities to escape.
That's right.
It's not doing anything like that. You're still able to call the police. You're still able to, try to defend yourself. It's just if he's in rage and you only have a melee weapon, guess what? You fucked.
Yeah.
Someone said, please make emotes trigger rage faster. And basically, you're getting into something there, but
Yeah.
Take a note, Matt.
yeah,
If-
writing this down.
If Chad is in Speedo,
Yeah,
right, and starts
right.
dancing, Jason's auto rage.
If
right?
Chad flexes on
Right.
Jason, 50% rage.
Yeah.
Which was funny when the video promoting all these changes was being made, somebody dropped a Chad flex on Jason, and Dan over here was like, I made sure we kept that in.
Nice.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Thanks. So wait, what do we have next up?
Yeah, we have just a quick screen to discuss the actual rage, how that's telegraphed to counselors. So once Jason hits rage, everyone will get both an audio cue during the match, so they know, oh shit, Jason has now hit rage. But on your mini map, you will see a large mask, like you see in the bottom right corner there. Jason's mask will flash in the mini map. I think it's at like 2, 3, 4 pulse or
Yeah,
something.
like it pulses a few times.
Right. And I think you hear maybe Pamela's laugh or something that occurs as an audio cue again, so that you realize like, oh, now nobody screw with Jason.
Yeah,
right?
like somebody messed up now.
Yeah,
Like,
A big
Yeah,
part of this
exactly.
change was we didn't want Jason, and if I'm speaking out of turn, stop me, but we didn't want Jason to go into this new rage and then just start steamrolling people and have people going, "What happened? Who?
Right.
He's in rage? When did he go? You know?"
Yep.
So considering that he's a little more, I don't want to say more effective, but he's a little different when he's in rage now. We wanted to give you at least a moment to notice, hey, all right, guys, running up on him with the baseball bat's probably not a good idea unless you have a shotgun or the sweater, you know?
It is important that when we make changes like this, um, that of course we're telling you now through the stream there's going to be patch notes, and this will be a VOD later that people can watch, but not everyone is going to tune into those things. And so when this patch becomes available to everyone and they're playing it, that if this occurred and you didn't get some type of visual and audio cue that, hey, look, Jason now has rage, then there's going to be a lot of confused players that like, oh, here comes Jason. No, does it matter? I've got a baseball bat. They hit him, and he's like, nah.
we get a lot of messages about things being broken.
Yeah, that will probably occur. Is that people will think like, wait a minute, this is not how it used to be.
We
But
have two. I'm sorry. I'm
go
sorry.
please.
We have two questions in here I don't want to miss. Somebody says, you say melee weapons won't stun in rage. Will that also affect killing him? You need gun to get on knees. The gun will stun when he's in rage. The
Correct.
shotgun stuns.
Correct. And then you use Pamela's sweater.
That's right.
And then the same steps that you previously used. Those all still work.
Yeah, it's just
obviously.
if you run up to Jason walking down the road and hit him in the face with a pot, nothing's going to happen. He's just
Yeah.
going to shrug it off and keep coming towards you.
He's not going to fall down. We got another one. Can he grab people while in groups and not get stunned? I believe what you're asking is about the hitting with bats to break grabs. I'm not 100% sure. Follow up
mean,
in chat.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can note on
I guess
that, though?
are you saying? I guess the question is, if Jason has rage and he grabs someone, and someone hits him with a melee weapon, does he drop the character? I think is the question
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's being asked. I don't think so. I think he can continue with the grab because he is not in a stunned state. Because he can't be in a stunned state once if you hit him with a weapon while he's in rage. It's a good question that we probably need to follow up just to guarantee, like, yeah. 100%. But what I recall from playtest was, no, he continues.
That's right.
The grab, and it doesn't matter. You're hitting him with stuff, and he's shrugging it off like it's no big deal.
Yeah, it is against counselor players' best interests to get Jason into rage.
Yeah. And to get in
Yeah.
grabbing range once he's in range, unless you're willing to take him down, unless you're a
Right.
hit squad ready to take him down.
Well, speaking of like hit squad stuff, and I don't think we have a screenshot for this, but it's something to discuss because I think it was shown in the video, is when Jason swings his weapon and there are multiple people around Jason.
Yeah.
So previously, once Jason would swing to hit, when he made the first target that he made contact with, that's what counted as the hit, and the attack would no longer impact hitboxes of any other character within the swing arc. That's how it used to be. In this patch, we changed that.
Yeah.
And so if there are 2, 3, 4, 5 players that are all, semicircled around Jason, and let's just say it's J3 and he swings, the axe, that whoever he makes contact with within that arc are all going to be damaged, right? With the same amount of damage. It's not like the first person is taking 90%, the next person. It's not like that. It's all bop, 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 bop. Everyone's getting to taste some steel on that one, right? And because that's how it should be. Like, that makes sense. If Jason in the film were to swing a weapon and 2 people were standing there, you're both getting effed on that one. And so that was a thing that we've kind of always wanted to do, but with all the other stuff that was going on with the title over time, stuff always kind of kept getting pushed back. Like, we'll get to that. And Dan and I sat down and had a long talk about this, and he's like, "No, dude, we need to get to this now because this is frustrating." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And so we made that another one of the priorities of this patch, so that those players that might want to try to put together some type of squad and go after Jason, that even if they all have baseball bats, if Jason swings and you're in the arc, you're all taking damage from it.
Yep. And another question we're seeing a lot in chat is, if Jason goes into rage, in order to stun him to get the kill, you need the sweater. That is true, because
Correct.
you're not going to stun him with a melee weapon.
Correct.
Another question we're seeing a lot of is how to pocket knives work. Pocket knives work the same
Yeah.
because they break the grab animation. So if you have a pocket knife on you and he grabs you, you can still free yourself with that.
Correct.
Rage, not rage, whatever.
Correct. And it still plays the same. He reaches up, pulls out the thing, throws it down, and now he's moving again.
Right.
So that all remains the same for sure.
So I mean, again, there's motivation to stay out of that grab range if possible. But again, guys, I feel that it bears repeating. We're talking about a character in a video game that's supposed to strike fear in all the counselors. That's the entire core premise of Friday the 13th and the lore of Jason and all of that. The fact that you would want to get in arm's reach of him is kind of a silly principle already
Right.
that we had to do a little something about. So,
Yeah.
Again, that said, we're pretty much, we're making sure that Jason has those teeth, like we said, but you still have methods to beat him. And we know realistically there's people who are going to take him down in, the first day after the patch.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
And I mean, and this, these are discussions that we've had internally, but it's also discussions that are happening on social about these types of changes. Now, they may not have been worded the exact same way, or the intent of what they're asking for is there, but maybe the way they were trying to explain it, it wasn't precisely, how, and that makes sense because that's not what they do, right? They don't make games, but they're just saying, oh, it's frustrating when this happens, and we read all those things. We collect all those. Matt puts a lot of those reports together. Melissa, who does a lot of customer support, she sees emails that come in that are like, sometimes it is a legit, bug glitch, whatever, but sometimes it's just, man, we wish this, like this thing sucks or whatever,
Right.
and we take those things into consideration. We sit down as a team, we talk through those things and think, is this a real problem, or is it one singular, outlier? How often does this problem occur? And we did see a lot of that, is people complaining that, 3, 4, 5, whatever counselors team up on Jason, and it's just frustrating. You basically just morph away as Jason, and now you feel like,
Yep.
I don't feel strong, right? I don't feel like Jason. Jason wouldn't run from a fight.
Right.
He's going to stand there and
Like seeing 2 or 3 counselors sitting by an exit where the cops are there,
Yeah.
and instead of running out, they're like, let's
yeah,
just smack Jason around. For
right,
something.
right. And that's just, we can't. That sucks.
Another question. So it's harder to kill rage and to kill Jason in rage, essentially. Yes, essentially, that's what we're going for here.
Right.
If you're going to bully Jason, he's going to get raged. I mean, reasonably so. When people pick on me, I get mad too. If you're going to bully Jason, he's going to go into rage. And once he goes into rage, you're going to have a harder time taking him down.
Yep.
Is there a safeguard to prevent a counselor from repeatedly hitting him to grant him rage, as in teaming? I don't know. I don't really see that as an issue because it doesn't accelerate the rage in such a,
Right.
it doesn't accelerate it fast enough where teamers are going to be able to say, well, I'm just going to go, me and you are buddies and you're playing as Jason. I'm just going to go hit you with this bat a bunch of times and get you into rage. I mean, they're going to be breaking weapons. They're going to have to cycle through and find new weapons. It's not a viable way to team to get Jason to rage so he can trounce counselors.
Right.
And that would be the long game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be like a way long game, yeah. So, that said, we've got some more changes we want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the patch notes, some of this stuff is kind of boring to like go over during stream.
Some of it is kind of boring, but I have a couple of things I wanted to note because I know,
Sure.
I'm sorry guys, I don't mean to be like all unprofessional, leaning down like a weirdo, but I wanted to grab my copy of my notes here. There's a couple of things that we've been hearing from you guys. I'm bringing these up because I know that these are hot button topics with you guys. Interaction locks.
Oh yeah.
Interaction locks is a big one. You guys are reporting interaction locks. I want to give a quick shout out to some folks on the forums. We've got guys like Fairplay and Slasher Clone and October 31st, and we've got like this ton of great people on the forums that play the game religiously and report these things to us. Same across Twitter and Reddit. But these are things that we see coming a lot that we're pretty happy to get taken care of. So interaction locks being one of them. Stumbling while dropping an item and entering combat stance while swinging a weapon. So those weird situations where you drop an item, you can't pick another one up, we've got that sorted out. Entering the combat stance while you're swinging a weapon sometimes trips it out. We've got that sorted out. We've got, and this, again, we're on Beyond, which, to catch those up who are just tuning in, Beyond is our opportunity to touch base with you guys and talk to you guys just like buds. Just hang out like buds and talk about our patch notes. So something that we've seen, again, it's a very boring line in a set of patch notes, but it's important to a lot of you, is the need updated client error. We've got multiple fixes for that. coming out. Now, this has been a huge issue for some folks. We want you guys to jump in, give it a shot once the patch goes live. Let us know if you're still experiencing any issues. This is a pretty widespread fix, but we still want to hear from you. So let us know, even if you just reach out to us and let us know, hey, man, it's working fine now.
Right.
Again, there's a couple of big ones in here, but the next one I want to really kind of hang on is we fixed an issue where when a counselor is climbing out of a window or an environment, they can steer themselves.
Yeah.
For those of you who have been frustrated by Packanack Roof,
Yeah.
that's an important line in the patch notes. Now, again, as with everything, we want you guys to let us know. Somebody in the chat right now is saying, what about roof glitch? What about roof glitch? And somebody's saying EU servers. EU servers falls into the category of need updated client. That's something to keep an eye out for. The steering when climbing through something, that was big because that's not just Packanack Roof. That's really, there's multiple areas in multiple maps where you can guide yourself out a window and get somewhere where you can't be reached. That's been a problem. Again, if you guys identify more spots, by all means, let us know. But
Right. I mean, that's the nature of the beast is, we see the reports, and it helps tremendously too whenever a player sends the report and they also show the steps for us, just so that we can quickly, rapidly fix it. Because some of the things, all we see is this symptom. We don't know exactly how the players are able to do it. And so when we do get step-by-steps, it helps us fix it, really, really quickly. This one was a tough one, but it looks like we've got it, at least when we go through the steps to try to replicate, it no longer does it. Does that mean that no one will ever be able to get on roofs again? I mean,
right.
there's always somebody who's going to continue to try weird variables and figure out a way to get on it, and then there's your new meta, and then we got to go try to fix it again. So, but right now, the steps that players were able to achieve, ways to glitch through some of the walls, get to roof access, etc., we've killed those things. But it also plays into another that we tried to fix, and we got really close to it, but it's going to require some more time because we were able to, in certain circumstances, reproduce, and that is when Jason throws a knife and there's impact with car and bad things happen with cars.
We actually just had a question in chat about throwing knives. It's something that we're still working on,
Correct.
Still looking into.
We didn't want to put it out and it still be like ways to do it because it's a pretty nasty bug, and it's not always easily, we can't reproduce it every single time, but there still are ways, and so we're going to continue hammering on it until we can 100% fix it. So it'll be in the next update that we do. I'm trying to push it as a priority as fast as we possibly can, and our dev team at Black Tower are busting hump to try to solve the problem for sure.
We've got a couple more questions in here too about off-host blocking. Really, there's a lot of different off-host questions in here, which are, if I'm not mistaken, down to a lot of connection things. We're trying to field reports on that kind of thing. But if you guys can find any more, regularly reproducible environments or situations where you can get that to happen, let us know, and we'll obviously take a look into it. Also, I'll have to compare with Mel. Shout out to Mel, our support lead, who puts together these amazing reports on this stuff. I'm going to have to sync with her to make sure that we're on the same page and I'm talking about the right thing. A couple of questions about Paranoia game mode. Guys, if you're worried or curious about content in Friday the 13th, you can just hit exclamation point content into the chat and you can read our full FAQ on everything there. So, and that's pretty much that. But I realize now, I'm sorry to derail here. We're running way behind schedule. We're going to launch into a gameplay session. What we have is we have a build of the game as it stands for the patch. We've got Dan here on the couch. He's going to jump in with some other folks from Gun. We're not auditioning to be the best around. We're just going to try and show you guys what we've changed. So we've got the guys ready to do, not really a demo, but they're just going to kind of mess around and try and show some of these changes while we continue to field questions from you guys.
Yeah, and if a question comes through that someone's asking, like, can you show this, can you show that, we can do our best to try to show you that live, but sometimes it's a little difficult too because we in here can talk to each other, but everyone over in QA, they don't hear us. So
otherwise, I'd tell QA to ready up.
Right, that we're hitting ready up, and there's still someone who isn't. So, and they may have stepped away to the restroom, but but that's okay. What we
I got somebody saying, I think the content command is broken in chat. No, it's just that it's on a cooldown.
yeah
So, yeah, there's
Yeah.
that. Unban and invite. We we're gonna read this one out. We still don't have great clarification on what this rage fix means for killing Jason. If he has rage, will a melee weapon hit count toward demasking him, or is that off the table at that point? Secondly, once he gets rage, the second step, can only the shotgun drop him to his knees after the sweater, or will a normal weapon work? Basically, what they're asking is
You lost
melee
me.
weapons,
Yeah.
despite not stunning Jason, they
Correct.
should still knock his mask off.
Correct.
And dropping him to his knees is going to require a shotgun for the Pamela sweater.
Right. Once Pamela sweater, like once you start that process works. Like the ways that went about, quote unquote, killing Jason, like using the Pamela sweater, all that stuff is still 100%. Like it works like it did before.
A couple of people are hung up on the fact that I used the word should. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't speaking out of turn. Wes confirmed it, so we can erase the should now, guys. It will, okay?
Well, I mean, that's so much of development, right? Yeah, it should work. you know?
Right. And it's part of the language that you have to really consciously make an effort
Right.
to not include. Off topic, but Matt, where did you get your shirt? Quick shout out to Theater of Creeps. That's a pretty dope shirt.
It is. It's a very cool shirt. Were those inverted or not inverted? Which do you
I'm
prefer?
using normal
You're-
because
okay.
inverted means that it's not normal.
I see.
Oh, we got Devil's Rejects in chat. Quick shout out to Devil's Rejects. I caught just a few minutes of his stream the other day, and it was a ton of fun. What about, is it still going to be super easy to knock his mask off? It should be the same amount of hits, correct?
Yeah, same amount. We didn't change like how much damage Jason takes before a state change, like being rage or mask comes off or whatever. Like we didn't change any of that.
Yeah. Any plans on making a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X enhancement?
I mean, not at the moment. It has been a subject that we've discussed around here. It's not off the table. It's just not a priority at the moment, just because of some of these additional little changes that we want to get in here. Continuing to hear back from the community on things that they want this to become sort of the best Friday experience that we can. Of course, with the legal issues that go on with us not being able to add content, then that does leave us to just looking at balance and looking at stat changes, looking at perks again, right? That's another big thing that we've heard a lot from fans that are asking us, can you look at perks and maybe make some adjustments to that? And we can make adjustments to them. We just can't add new stuff, obviously.
Right. And really, Wes said it best, we've got these other things that we're looking at. That doesn't mean that we're ignoring any other,
Correct.
Options, balancing, things like that. It's just when you're trying to prioritize these things, obviously we want to make sure everybody's in game and playing and things are functioning for them. So,
Right.
I want to dip into Mixer here because I don't want you guys to think that we're not catching your questions too. I'm trying to pool them together here, but I caught a question just a little bit ago. I'm scrolling back. Damn it, now I lost it. Oh, bad ping will interaction lock when you're blocking. Yes, and we're going to look into that. Like I said, once we're off stream, I'm going to sync up with our support team and see what more I can find out about that. And no, Old Scratch says, I think he's only reading Twitch comments. You're wrong. Anyone say when the patch is coming? We have that news. You want to let them know?
Yeah. So the patch drops tomorrow. So, hooray! You will get to play all these things, test this new stuff tomorrow, and that's on all platforms. We'll be sending out on social, that exact information. I know everyone's going to know, like, what precise time exactly, and some of those things you got to realize we don't necessarily control that. We send the stuff to our partners at Xbox or at Sony or whatever, and we don't get to tell them. It has to be now, this second, exactly. Like, that's out of our control. So, but we'll try to keep you guys in the loop on social, like in some form of a window of when we expect it to roll out. And of course, globally, it takes a while for those servers to populate across the whole world when a new patch comes out, et cetera, et cetera. You guys know the routine. You've been down it before, but it's worth just mentioning it again. But yes, tomorrow.
I actually have another question here that, if you don't mind, I would like to answer, because I hear this a lot on social.
Okay.
And Yeah, somebody in here is saying, what about double XP? When's the next time we can expect double XP? It's not often that we have tomorrow as the answer, but tomorrow you'll have double XP and double tape drops running from tomorrow, coinciding with the launch of the patch, all the way until Wednesday of next week. So basically, you guys can jump in game, check out the new patch, check out the changes, check out what we've done to the game, and earn double XP and double tapes while you're at it. So
Mañana, bueno.
there you go. See? I love having good news.
Oh, no. See, now they messed up. Yeah, come on.
Rage. See that?
Yep.
See,
Oh,
the
my
mask
mask.
comes off, still puts him in you just screwed me up.
Yeah.
That really helps to telegraph to the players, too.
Come on,
But
get
the
in.
stun is short. It's not very
Yeah.
long, but go ahead, try. Yep, you toast.
Yeah, you're done. And mind you, they intentionally ran at Dan here and tried to toss him into a rage there. A couple people
Yeah,
were
I'm
like,
not
that
that
rage
terrible."
went really quick. And it was like, oh, well,
They were wailing on him pretty hard, though.
yeah. Let's see here. Any plans to eventually do cross-play?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I want to. Some of that stuff's out of our control because you guys know there's not many games on the market that are doing it, and there's reason because of that. And I would like to, yes. Can I make that promise to you today? I can't, but it is a discussion, and it's a thing that we want to continue looking at and talking to our partners to find out how can this be done. So I'm not going to make you any kind of promises today that that's going to happen, but it is a thing I would like to continue those discussions.
And again, falls into that category of we can talk about a wish list of things to come to the game till the sun comes up, but really we need to do some prioritization. What's affecting the most folks? What is going to have the biggest impact? Like, if we're working within limited time trying to get a patch out to you guys, what's going to be the biggest home run there, and we can prioritize in that way. So again, like I said, wish lists could run for days, but I saw a couple other people also mention another thing that, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, would fall under the category of wish list, and that's raising the level cap and just blowing the top out of the level cap.
Yeah, I mean, when you raise what most games do, if there is a level cap increase, then quickly following after is a cadence of new content, which is why you would do that. Like, that's why you raise it, is because you got new stuff to earn and unlock and etc. We don't get to do that.
I mean, raising it to where people are like, oh, I can hit level 600, but they don't catch anything. They don't get anything for
Right.
an extra 450 levels. Like,
Right.
it doesn't really add anything to the game.
Right. But does that mean we're not going to do it? I mean, no. I mean, it still could be a thing because a lot of discussions that Dan and I are having are around perks and really looking at that system to fine tune it better and being able to make some tweaks and adjustments to that. That then could mean that it makes sense to maybe boost the level a little bit. But it's an ongoing discussion, and love to hear the feedback from everyone in the community too about something like that. Because what we don't want to do though is just pick a random number and say level cap's now this, and because of that everyone's like, oh, awesome, and they're starting to play grind, if you will, but they're not really getting a whole lot of stuff for doing it, and they're like, well, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't feel good.
We had another quick question in here from a friend of Gun, Mad Eye Yokai. How's it going, Mad Eye?
Oh,
What's up, man?
He says, I remember you mentioned allowing higher levels to have a greater chance of getting rare and legendary perks. Is that still a possibility in the future? And I know you've already touched on this, but I think you might be just joining us. So, yeah, the perk situation.
like, repeat it again, I'm sorry.
Oh, higher level players having a better chance at rare legendaries, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's part of the discussion that Dan and I are having, is what you should and shouldn't be seeing when you roll per your current level. And it's not just the discussions, again, that we're having are at literally like a concept discussion. It's not putting into action yet, because we have to test these things conceptually first, and then we start rolling them into actual practice. But the higher levels you start to get, then you start to see different. You don't start seeing lower end perks that you're rolling, right? Like you should be seeing stuff that's a little better. And so if you think of those things, and again, this isn't how it is, I'm just giving you a for example, that if you're, level 1 through 10, then, you're seeing mostly kind of lower to middle range perks. And then once you get past, maybe it's 10 to, 20, 25, whatever it is, you start to see, you're rolling sort of some better things. So having a sliding scale to the perk system per your current level makes far more sense than where it currently is, where you shouldn't be really high level and still seeing like, bogus bootleg, bush league type of perks, if that makes sense.
For sure. We've got a couple things in here I want to get to real quick. Billy Rivers 311, how long are you willing to wait out? Blah, 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 new content. Again, the answer to that can be found, !content. You can check out our content FAQ. Can you tell Daniel to get rage and grab a counselor and see if another counselor can hit him to make the counselor drop?
I don't know that the other players are going to be able to
Yeah, they
hear.
won't hear me.
Yeah.
They can't hear that request. But if we do find two people next to each other, we can
give it a
definitely give it a shot.
I think without the stun, though, it's...
I don't know how many are left. Has he already like mowed through?
Nah, we
everyone?
just started this one.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, you don't have rage yet, right?
Yeah, I need to adjust the brightness on this TV.
The TV itself.
Yeah.
Can you tell Dan to get good? That's from your buddy Nick at Slash and Cast.
Hey,
Oh.
band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just real quick use
Yeah.
the
Let's bring
moderator
up
prop.
that. Take Nick back down to like level 2.
It's really unfortunate that all of his accounts were reset.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mixer chat. We seem to be having a problem with our bot in the Mixer chat. So maybe Gun Media Help can toss that link in there for you. We fixed the Packanack roof. Actually,
We did.
we did. So,
If you're referring to the fact people can get on said roof,
yeah.
unless there's some other problem with the roof that I'm unaware of, if it leaks or something. I don't.
Yeah, you let us know if you're not a fan of the tiles. But,
Right.
yeah, that actually, Jose 3922, that's partly due to being able to control yourself on your way through a window. So, yeah. What about raining, lagging the game, and delaying the sweater activation and getting out of the sweater while Jason shifts? That's a pretty complex one. There's a lot of ifs in there. So the rain lags out the game, and
When you say lags out, you mean frame dip?
yeah,
Is that what they're saying? Because lag and frame dip aren't exactly the same thing, but because
little
lag
off,
means
yeah.
network. But yeah,
somebody said fix the car bug. Cars, that's something that I think that we could probably benefit to talk about a little bit.
fix the car bug. Is that what?
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, we're referring to, because this is the same person that once before said about throwing knives and
Yeah.
about some of the weird collision aspects to vehicles and
Okay.
how they fly off the map.
Well, what we have been seeing happening was relative to Jason throwing knives.
Right.
That at a certain angle, the physics kind of fought with each other and would shoot a car, to the moon or whatever. That's still something that we're testing right now. We're still trying to get to the bottom of that problem because it doesn't happen every single time. And so, yeah, it's going to be in a future patch. But that's pretty much the top priority right now that I have the dev team working on is finding a solution to this problem.
Somebody else says, what about pocket knife escape through walls? That's in the patch notes here. The pocket knife is not going to allow you to escape through that wall.
Oh, no.
And a couple other people are slamming on Pinehurst
Oh.
right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Gameplay is moving along without me. I wanted to bring up, there's a falling animation loop where you get stuck in a falling animation on the firewood logs on Pinehurst. That's fixed. There is an invisible collision near the barn.
Oh, you little
That would shift the car vertically after restarting the car on Pinehurst. That's fixed. And there is an issue where counselors can reach the roof by escaping Jason with a pocket knife on Pinehurst. That's also fixed. So, for those of you that
I'm just
have,
watching Dan miserably fail right now.
for all of those who are kind of ripping on Pinehurst, there's quite a bit of work being done to Pinehurst right now.
Yep.
Update tomorrow going to be
Oh, here we go. Here's a chance that we might be able to grab
new
some
glitter and glitters. I don't know
Oh,
if that's what
no.
it means to say.
Rob, just if you wouldn't mind to have them, once Jason grabs, well, we need to get Jason into rage first.
All
Like,
right.
that's step one. Once we get Jason into rage, Jason needs to grab someone, and then someone else needs to come up with a weapon and hit Jason to see the effect of that. Does Jason drop the counselor? What stage of stun is he in, et cetera, et cetera?
PS4 servers, yes, Dwight. we actually always had EU servers for PS4, dedicated servers for PS4. There was the outdated, the need updated client error that was causing you guys not to be able to connect to them. So it's not a matter of will the servers be up after the patch launches. It's a matter of you guys will be able to access those servers after the patch launches.
Correct.
Which I know that's I'm kind of mincing words, but you know, I don't want you to think that we're kicking off a whole bunch of servers. We're just getting you guys onto those servers.
Right.
There was a block.
The other thing, it wasn't happening for every single
Yeah.
player, even on PS4. That's why it was a tough one for us to get to the bottom of.
And for those that were affected, obviously that's a pretty big effect, and we get that. But yeah, it was very hard to track down, considering that we had a handful of people who were saying, "Come on, man, I can't connect. Then we had other people in the same regions even being able to connect without a problem.
Right.
Can you guys add a map checkbox to allow us to only include certain maps in the random selection for private matches? My game group doesn't care for the small maps, but would like to randomize normal.
That's a really good idea.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, like, I get you. All right. Limiting what maps are available in a private match. That's
Right.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's
All right.
something that we should definitely look at. Are you enraged? Okay, you are.
Yeah. Yep.
So it does. No, well, you knocked your mask off though. So that's try it again. From right here. She didn't have a weapon.
Oh, no. You got to let her escape now. Or you could just carry her around.
I mean,
So I
there's
think
not
it only
much where
happened
people go.
because
It's fine.
the mask came off.
Yeah.
So
That is the smallest pool table.
right there, behind you, right there. Let her hit. God dang it, timing. One more time. All right. Okay, so it drops, but he's not stunned. Okay, that's exactly what happens. If you
Oh,
do that.
Okay,
breaking
so
and
you
locking.
can free the counselor, but
You
it
can
doesn't
still free your friends. It doesn't stun him. And you saw he instantly came out and was ready to throw down.
Please fix slow blocking and off-host issues. BML998. I'm going to be looking into
Where'd it
this
go?
as soon as this stream ends, checking with our support squad and seeing if there's anything we can tie together there. You can also feel free to reach out to me on the forums through PM, Reddit through a PM, or Twitter,
Door
anywhere
kill.
that you
Door
can
kill.
find us.
Yes.
Too late, AJ.
Oof. That's still a good kill. It's like one of our first ones we put in the game. It's still our first contextual. I loved it.
Make them suffer like we did.
Don't hang on. You're just rolling past environmental kills left and right.
I mean, Deb's still there. Oh, you little shit.
Sometimes when Jason gets hit, he gets frozen and can't move. Any update on that? That sounds like you're talking about a stun. If I'm wrong,
I've
please give me
seen some,
more.
yeah, I've seen some instances where it's like Jason, there's a lot of variables that go into it. Like Jason's pulling someone out of the car as soon as he gets them to the full lift, someone hits him with a bat while also like firecrackers
Yeah.
were going off or something. And it's all these edge cases where Jason gets in a stunned state because a packet got lost during that moment. We see it happening way more on private matches because you're the host, right? Like you're not on our dedicated. It's happening because internet connection wasn't great. But still, there's still a random occurrence that you could see an interaction lock due to a network packet loss. We've just put some systems in to help that situation, so you don't see it quite as often. And the ones that kept coming up over and over and over again, those were squashed. But is there still, if someone does these 7 things randomly, could there still be something weird happen?
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Oh.
Somebody says, do firecrackers stun a rage Jason?
No.
They don't. Someone else, and I'm just reading chat. I'm sorry.
No,
but
I
someone
only had
else
these
said,
guys for 2 matches.
That's
so
fine.
we're done.
That's fine.
Matt, can you stop being so awesome? I think it makes Dan mad. I'm
Ooh.
just reading chat. I'm sorry, man.
And there's a reason I hired you.
And real quick, just to rob our producer, you can let QA know that we're done with the private match, so they can go back to the grindstone.
Now, here's a longer answer that I wanted to make sure I get to. I've got chat kind of slowed down here. Will we ever be able to play with bots and friends in a private match? One player must be Jason and the other counselor's bots.
Not currently. It's not, and it's also not really how that whole game mode got built. We didn't build it with that in mind, so it would take a lot to overhaul that. And honestly, it flirts with. Wait, is that new? And that's a slippery slope.
Right.
Legally.
So it gets into that content. area.
Maybe. I mean, again, some of that's open to interpretation, and we can make those requests where we see fit, but it's a lot easier for a lawyer to say no than yes.
Right on. What about Tommy House on maps? That's another. For background. They
You mean
want,
where the Tommy CB thing is?
Yeah, they want Jason to be able. If I'm misrepresenting your question, let
Yeah,
me know.
and please chat. Like, it helps us a lot if you are meticulous in what you're saying in the chat, because sometimes we're
sure.
like, wait, what does he mean? You know,
Yeah.
and so it would help us a lot if you gave us a little bit of detail. But go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, they're referring to, because I've seen this quite a bit on social. They're referring to Jason being able to see which house is the Tommy house.
And when you mean okay,
In the
it's so
beginning of
weird
the
to call
match.
it Tommy House. It's not that.
where
The
the
house that
CB
you
is.
call. Yeah.
Right, because there's Jason's house where he spawns.
Right.
Okay,
And Tommy does not spawn in that house, but where you call in Tommy.
Okay, so can Jason, the Jason player, see that on his map? Is that the question?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's a giant tower
Right.
with a red blinking light.
I mean, I wasn't going to go there, but
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be like an asshole here. I'm just saying we thought of that during design, and so that all players, Jason and counselors, can see something in the distance and know, like, oh, that's a point of interest. I need to go there and see what's up.
Yeah.
Right? Are we going to add that? So Jason, no, I don't foresee that ever being something that we add in, because I think we solved that problem through design. And giving Jason something instantly match, like as soon as he gets morphed to like, oh, there's where the Tommy CB is. Go there now. I don't.
And we tell Jason where, like, all of the fuse boxes are.
Yeah.
He knows where the telephone is.
Yeah.
He knows where the cars are and
True.
the boat, if
True.
the boat's there.
True.
Like, having that one thing where he actually has to go into the area to see that one tower. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't feel like it's unfair to Jason players.
Right.
Players.
Right.
So, what about intro and outro desynchronization? Again, that's definitely something that I think falls under the category of it's in the list. It's something we're keeping an eye on.
Well, what is that? I mean, I don't understand
There's
what
a-
they're asking.
Oh, I apologize. There's a desynchronization on the intro and outro stuff. There's some folks that are reporting that audio and video has gone out of sync on those bits.
Oh, okay.
Which again, we get that it's not the best, but there's a list of things we're trying to cut through and get through, and again, it's something that we'll keep an eye on, and if we can work that into a later patch, of course. But right now, it's kind of lower down that priority list. Did you guys give any thought to adjusting Jason's grab radius? This is an interesting one.
Grab radius. Have we given any thought about Jason's grab radius? So there have been discussions about grab and what we think it should do. What we wanted to do is get this patch out right now, because there are changes to Jason that once he hits rage, sort of move that pendulum towards Jason's kind of a badass, right? And so we want to get that out into the wild tomorrow, right? And let you guys be playing it and giving us feedback and saying, yes, this is the right direction, or no, Wes, save your mustache, you're horrible, right? And that's fine. But if we are going in this right direction, then I do want to look at grab, and I want to look at ways to make that a little, because it used to be sort of drivable,
Yeah.
right, where you can aim it, right? Like soon as he starts it, because right now, yes, he starts the grab. It's a linear animation, right? He steps forward, and you can't control left or right. And good counselors know that as soon as they see that telegraphed to start, weaving and bobbing and weaving and stuff, right? And then it's hard for Jason to catch him, right? I understand that request. So yeah, it's a discussion. It's a discussion point, and we're talking about it. And we're talking about it with Black Tower about ways that we can get this to a point that we like it. So first, let's get this patched out.
Yeah.
Let you guys touch it, play it, look at the changes, and give us feedback on where we're going in the direction. And if everyone's like, thumbs up, this is dope, we think you should look at grabs. Okay, let's have that discussion together.
But again, it goes back to that conversation about going over too far to the
Right.
other side.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that this gets out into the wild and people see how this plays out, and we see where we're at from here.
Right.
We've got another great question here. Can you add a mustache on Jason?
No, because he didn't have a mustache in the film. So
As much as he's
sorry.
a big fan of mustaches, he's a
Right.
bigger fan of authenticity.
I am. I am. It's funny though, but no.
We are going to open up some giveaways. Now, real quick, let's just go over what we've got to give away. We've got another art book. We've got we've got an art book, a steel book case of the game, collector's edition case of the game, and we've got a handy dandy scuff controller. Maybe you could show them that scuff controller.
Can you throw to that camera so we can see a little
Bam!
better? Whoa, look at that.
That is a custom-made scuff controller. We're going to be giving away the
You're
triple
good at that,
pack.
Dan. That's
Yeah,
good.
he's like Dana White.
Dana White.
That's gonna be a
Oh,
thing now.
God. It's over.
So,
It's over.
I digress. We've got one art book, one steel book, and one controller for Mixer, and one art book, one steel book, one controller for Twitch. I'm going to get those raffles opened up, but first, we're going to get another question out to the main man over here, Wes.
Like you can get an Xbox or a PS4 one.
Yes,
It's not just Xbox.
correct.
Yes. Will parties still be kicked out and sent back to the main menu screen if a member leaves during the game? Yes. That's unchanged as far as whether or not that's something we're looking at.
Right.
On Higgins' map, Tommy Tower sometimes shows in opening screen. Any plans to change that?
It does. I'm with you on that, and because that is somewhat random in the what cabin gets spawned where, and if it is a quote Tommy house, as people are now dubbing it, which I shun all of you for doing. That's dumb.
It's been like that forever, man.
Really?
Yeah, people have called it the Tommy house forever.
That doesn't make sense.
I
Anyway,
mean, it's the house where you call Tommy.
it is, but that's not where Tommy is. He doesn't spawn there.
Yeah, but calling it the CB radio house is way too long.
The CB radio.
Oh my
house.
God, does anybody know where the CB radio house is versus, hey, anybody know where the Tommy house is?
Excuse me 1 second, folks. Guys, exclamation point raffle in both chats will get you entered. And if you've got both open, you can enter twice. I'm just saying. It's
cheating.
exclamation
That
point
is
raffle, not just
terrible.
raffle.
Terrible.
And
Get you a controller,
you're
man.
just telling people, you're like, cheat.
I want everybody.
And for
to
everybody
have as
that
much of a
does that,
shot.
it takes everybody else's chances lower.
Right.
Good job.
Mm-hmm. But was there a question in there that we didn't answer because I got stuck on?
Probably. We got sidetracked with
we got a
Mario.
little sidetracked with the idea of seeing the.
Oh, in the intro.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to fix it
And
so
by
that
the way,
that
somebody
can't?
said give up. It's Tommy House. Sorry.
Okay, fine. Are we going to remove that from the intro? That would be a super low priority.
Yeah.
Because we want to get to these things that are either breaking the experience or
Sure.
or otherwise. So it'll be put on the list. Another thing that's on the list is the base model Victoria, like her clothing. Her butt doesn't look good, and I'll be damned. Like I'm losing sleep, over this.
He did walk into the community room
Yeah.
earlier.
See, I
He was
know.
like, you guys, have you noticed? And we were like,
He's-
but actually, I have to give a quick shout out to Mad Moxie, my wife, and my Peanut. Hey, Peanut. She did say to me the other day, she
Yeah.
was like, what's with the mom butt going on there?
Yeah. So
You know,
the thing is, like, trust me, the model itself, it's flawless, but it's the clothing, the base model clothing, the way that the folds hit on the rig, it's bad. Some have dubbed it diaper butt, and I get it. Like, it doesn't look great, and so that's another one of those things. And you guys know me, that shit bothers me, like constantly. And it doesn't help that when I jump into like a stream of someone and say like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys?" And they're like, "When you gonna fix diaper butt?" And I'm like,
old diaper butt.
I'm like, I know, because it bothers me a lot. So, but it's just one of those things that we have to just kind of bump down the priority list and get some of the top bills stuff out of the way first. Well, we're running out of time here.
Yeah,
getting a little tight. So
Scotty Bot is failing me. I don't know if maybe we can get Gun Media helps to let us know if we drew a winner on the Mixer chat. If not, we will fix that. But right now, I'm going to draw a winner on our Twitch one.
if it's anyone from the Slashing Cast, they don't get it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, instantly just disqualified.
Sharon Gann 086 has won the raffle on Twitch, and we're waiting to see somebody. Doesn't show a winner on Mixer. Let's see here.
Well, congratulations.
Sharingan. My producer Rob says that I totally botched that. Sharingan. Sorry about that. Congratulations, Sharingan. let's see here if I can get this raffle to draw on Mixer. No raffle in progress, it's saying.
Man.
Hang on, guys. It's only a 60-second raffle. We're going to get this fixed because this is
Well, one thing to note too is on these art books that we're giving away, I think Ronnie and I are going to sign one of those.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And the steel case version, I think we're going to sign one of those too.
Will you sign my steel case?
No,
You already did. Haha.
I signed your paycheck. Sort of.
What is
Yeah, I don't think you actually
I
signed
don't.
my paycheck.
I don't. It's all digital, whatever, So, but still.
Let's see, guys. I'm trying to fix this up for you on Mixer. If not, we're going to just draw a name at random.
I mean, it's first stream.
Wait,
Yeah.
I got a winner here.
Oh, it came up on that side?
I got a winner here. We got Rogue X, Rogue with an X in it.
There we go.
You're our winner on Mixer. Gun Media Help. We don't seem to have the bot in chat right now. So, Gun Media Help, if you could just reach out to ROGXUE, looking like Rogue. Let them know that they won.
Congratulations to both of our winners.
Yeah. Now,
Very cool.
let's see here. What else we got? We got any last... Guys, you can stop raffling chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I failed you on the raffle thing. We're trying to give away cool stuff, though. But, folks, that's going to do it. Real quick before we get into our closing segment, I just want to let you guys know, thanks for hanging out. Our first episode of Beyond, I know we had our issues with some technical difficulties in the beginning, and now just, again, with some raffles because I suck. But Beyond is going to be a weekly show where we hang out with you guys, answer as many questions as we can, try to touch base with you guys. If you have any questions that you didn't get answered now, reach out to us on socials. Maybe we can get our producer, Rob, to run the socials up on screen one more time. Reach out to us on socials, PM us on the forums, let us know what's up. And by all means, tune in next Tuesday for another episode of Beyond. Next Tuesday, I believe we're going to be talking about Layers of Fear and some of the cool things we have planned for that. I believe my two guests will be back, but if not, we'll have some amalgamation of gun people here to hang out and chat with y'all. We also have something else that's pretty exciting to announce real quick. We have Tales from the Stream coming on Thursdays.
Yes.
Now, again, sticking with the horror comics vibe because we're a bunch of horror nerds and comic nerds. And I mean, we want to hang out and have a chance to hang out with you guys where we can just play some games and enjoy some horror games from either Gun Media or around the industry. You're going to be able to hang out and get cool stories, behind the scenes kind of stuff from us, just chatting, playing
And sometimes
some games.
we're just discussing just stuff that's going on in horror in general. It may not be that we're actually playing a game or we're talking about a game. It may be film or something else that's just going on that we're like, hey, did you catch this? Did you catch that? Hey, chat, have you seen this trailer, that trailer? Stuff that we just think is cool and inspires us as a team. But the major focus is going to be, let's play some horror games together. And even talk a little bit about the process of when we made Friday,
Sure.
What's going on with Layers, if that is appropriate to discuss. If somebody in the community wants to ask about it, we're down. But the major focus of that is, hey, let's have some fun, let's hang out together, and let's play some video games.
For sure. And if you don't mind, I'm going to let them know what we're doing on Thursday.
Please.
We're going to be playing the Resident Evil 2 remake on Thursday. It's going to be pretty rad. I actually haven't played it all yet because I'm waiting for that stream. I want it to be genuine. So, again, every Tuesday, Beyond, every Thursday, Tales from the Stream. And we're working on some other fun streaming stuff, which we'll talk to you guys a little bit more about later. But thank you for tuning in. If we didn't get to any of these questions, hit me up on the forums. We'll talk more. And, yeah, that's it from me. Maybe you guys want to say your little sign out.
Thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate it. I look forward to continuing this and discussing more. And I think just before we close out here, Dan, I think there was something you wanted to share with the community.
Oh, people who killed themselves on Friday the 13th don't get to come back as Tommy.
There you go. So that's a pretty big one. Suiciders, you are not going to be Tommy. All right, thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you real soon on Thursday. Check social for updates to when that stream is going to be going live, and we look forward to talking with you guys again soon. See you.
Take care, gang.
Later, guys.